Oshi No Ko is a wonderful anime, and once again, it delivered another brave story that did not hide any controversy surrounding the dark side of cancel culture. Before I start discussing this week's episode, if you're following Oshi No Ko and if you haven't watched episode 6, I suggest you go and watch it now, then come back later in this video since this week's episode of Oshi No Ko is powerfully written. Another thing is that episode 6 of Oshi No Ko contains themes about depression, cyberbullying, and suicide. So please, if you're going to watch it or this video, please know that there are people who care for you. The words of the nameless people on the internet will never weigh more than the love of your friends and families. Stay safe. Cancel culture, a social phenomenon where people collectively criticize and cancel individuals or entities for their perceived offensive behavior or beliefs. It has been seen before as the answer of the anonymous people on the internet to hold any public individual accountable for an immoral action that they have made. Cancel culture is a complex and evolving phenomenon that cannot be understood with a single video, research paper, or critical media, since the understanding and interpretation of cancel culture can vary among different individuals and communities. Which is why Oshi No Ko's episode titled Ego Surfing is one of the most unsettling anime episodes right now, because it did not shy away from telling the harsh, cold truth of how a public person might react to cancel culture. So how did Oshi No Ko create a compelling and thought-provoking narrative that prompted self-reflection among the viewers regarding cancel culture? The storytelling and directing of Oshi No Ko episode 6 are so wonderfully made. In the first scene, we see Yuki monologuing and taking the spotlight from the rest of the cast. So much so that the framing is done so that you will barely notice Aqua, the MC, in it. So instead of following Aqua's perspective like the way we did in episodes 2 through 5, we now see the story of this episode through another lens, which is a double entendre. While we move away from Aqua's story, the theme of the first half of this week's episode is all about getting the spotlight. We saw in this episode how Yuki's monologuing about quitting turned the viewer's head to shower her with attention. Memcho, this adorable gremlin, also talks about how her participation in the show led to the increase of her subscriber count. So it's all about getting the spotlight. And true enough, a lot of celebrities will do their best to get more screen time. They will write all the notes that they can take, practice in all acting schools, and push their limit just to get that single shine in the spotlight, which is what Akane tried to do in this episode, but failed to do so. The first half of this episode showed that My Love with a Star Begins Now, the crappy reality dating show that they are part of, presented that their focus is on Yuki, Nobuyuki, Kengo, and Memcho in that exact order. Going back to the Yuki monologue, you can see that both Akane and Aqua are barely in the frame. While Akane did have one line, her frame had Kengo in it, because the show wanted to promote this actor, compared with Memcho who had a solo frame for her line, and Nobuyuki who had multiple people, but he was at the front and center while talking. Why does this framing hold significance? Because it demonstrates that the show understands precisely which actors to highlight more in their episodes in order to attract a larger audience. Put simply, this subpar reality dating show has already chosen its primary cast members. Consequently, Akane's attempt in this episode to garner attention and be in the spotlight is ultimately in vain. And I love how the direction, framing, and music change once we get to minute 820 as we move from the success of the dating show to Akane's perspective. We now follow Akane's story, and this holds significant importance. Oshi No Ko allows us to witness the immense pressure Akane faces from her own viewpoint. Why? It's to evoke empathy towards her, showing that even though we aren't celebrities like Akane, we can still empathize with her struggle as an actress not getting the spotlight because we experience it through her perspective. The higher-up's sudden outbursts of anger, the relentless effort she has put into honing her acting skills, her unsuccessful endeavors to shine in the spotlight, and the discouraging comments she encounters online regarding her performance. All of this build a huge amount of pressure that completely wash Akane to the point of making one dull mistake. The way Oshi No Ko approached and portrayed Akane's story was incredibly impactful, allowing us to empathize with her on a deep level. When the series ultimately addressed the powerful theme of the dark side of cancel culture, it was executed with masterful precision. We saw how those tweets about her being entitled are nothing but a lie, because we know how humble Akane is. We saw how those rumors about her being lazy are nothing but a lie, because we saw how much work Akane puts in. We saw how those comments about her being passionless are a lie, because we saw how much dedication Akane has to being an actress. Oshi No Ko effectively conveyed the message about the dark side of cancel culture because it allowed us to experience it firsthand through Akane's perspective. If you have been personally involved in canceling someone on the internet, it's possible that you may have expressed your anger through comments, retweeted an overblown statement, or simply agreed with others that the person being cancelled deserved the consequences for their alleged immoral actions. However, through Oshi No Ko, we were able to deeply understand that those words were not mere whispers that could be easily dismissed. The anime showed us the profound impact of those hateful words, revealing how they can push individuals to engage in irresponsible and extreme behaviors. It shed light on the feeling of utter despair and the belief that one has failed in every aspect of life, which can be the tragic consequence of such relentless negativity. Cancel culture is often viewed by its proponents as a means to pass judgment and hold individuals accountable based on their interpretation of social justice. But what about the people who are not with us now, because of this intense pressure that the dark side of cancel culture brings? I know that Akane Kurokawa parallels the real-life story of the late wrestler Hana Kimura. Whether Oshi No Ko did this with intent or not, it does not diminish the impactful and courageous storytelling crafted by Akasaka sensei. The portrayal of these experiences serves as a reminder of the significant impact that cyberbullying has and the negative effects of cancel culture can have on individuals' lives. It highlights the need for empathy, understanding, and a more compassionate approach to addressing such issues in real life. In the end, Oshi No Ko taught us a valuable lesson that we should never pass judgment on someone without considering both sides of the story, the alleged immoral act and the story of the people involved.